Hi, this is Steve Harper from YourCreativeLife.com with part 4 of how to go from an idea straight through a script. If you've missed any of the other parts, either 1, 2, or 3, you should go back and take a look at them now before you watch this particular video. But just know that I talked about an idea that I had about deviled eggs, created an idea like how that particular obsession would turn into two characters warring with each other. We described a log line. We came up with plot points, those hinges, which take us from the beginning to the middle and the middle to the end. And then we talked about having cards, which describe the moments that get us from the beginning to the middle, through the middle, and to the end. And now we are at the final stage, which is talking about outlining and then moving on to script. So if you've done the card thing, it's a really useful piece because the cards tell you step by step by step by step what elements and what moments you need in order to have your story go from the beginning straight through the middle to the end. Now, this is a slightly different methodology than what I normally use in the TV writer room, because in addition to those plot points that give you the hinge between the beginning and the middle and the end, in the world of TV, depending on whether you're on network or streaming, you're going to have to think in terms of commercial breaks. And you will want to structure your story based on the kind of TV show that it is. I'm currently writing a show for CBS, and we've got a very specific structure, teaser plus 4 acts. All kinds of shows on networks have different structures, and you'll want to mimic those structures of whatever kind of show mirrors your show. But to get back to the card, so you have all of these moments, and the thing that I would advise you to do next is to take each moment and create what I call a step outline. And that's where a single sentence for each event of your script can be listed on a piece of paper. So you would take all those cards and you would write them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This happens, this happens, this happens. Very simple sentences. And it just gives you a sense, a spine of how the story moves from the top to the bottom of the story. Now, what's really great about this is you get a chance to absorb and figure out whether the story is working, whether different things ought to happen, whether there ought to be more excitement. And you get to do that without having written a whole bunch of scenes that you have to rearrange. So once you do that step outline with very simple sentences, the next thing to do is a narrative outline. And we do this a lot in the world of TV. And that narrative outline is a fully sort of fleshed out short story version of the events of your script. So if the first line says, talks about Horace and, deviled eggs, or Horace going to work in the morning or whatever, the short story version would be interior, Horace's bungalow, day, Horace gets up, is, relaxed or upset, rolls out of bed, yawns, grabs his pants. It sort of gives us the short story version. It gives us the flavor, the energy, the action of that scene. And so once we've done that for every scene in our entire show, or our entire, it could be a film, but in this case, we've been talking a lot about TV. Once you've done that for the entire show, then it's much easier then to go to the next step, which is to turn those paragraphs into scenes. And again, you can see how looking at it this way, the architecture of it, the moments, the scenes, the flavor, the characters, you can do a lot to improve your story before you even get to things like dialogue or scene descriptions or any of that stuff. But the last stage is to take those paragraphs, take that narrative outline, and then go scene by scene through your script. Now, you can go from top to bottom, or one of the things that I really love to do, one of my favorite things, is to choose the sections, the storylines, or the characters that I'm most interested in, especially in the world of TV where there are several different storylines. I will, let's say, fall in love with the C story and write that first, or fall in love with the B story and write that first. It doesn't really matter as long as you're going to put it all together, and you get a chance to, again, absorb, play around, try different things, and give yourself the chance to feel your way through the story to get it right in terms of your energy and what you really want to convey. And that's it. That's how I go from having an idea straight through having a script. And once I've done that, once I've written it out, then I'm going to go to my peeps. You know, I might have people to read my work, or a writer's group, or I might have a reading, or any number of other things. But you can see how with that methodology, you can go from simply being obsessed or interested in a particular subject all the way to creating a fully finished script that has a beginning, middle, and end, and characters, and all of that stuff. And the quality, of course, depends on how much time you spend and how much focus you spend on that script. So thanks for joining us for those 4 steps of those 4 parts of how to go from idea all the way to script. Take a look at the other 3 parts, review these, use these, pass them on to friends. I think these tools are absolutely incredibly valuable for you and for your writing career. Also, remember to like and subscribe this video and to this channel. To check out all of the offerings in my coaching life at yourcreativelife.com, including blog posts, a link to this YouTube channel, and other sorts of things that you can find. And finally, check out the Secret Writer Podcast, which I'm super proud of. It's a podcast that I've been doing for almost a full season. Full season finale is coming up with Nick Job, who's also a writer and a coach. And there's great, juicy, interesting stuff in that space, which we call, sort of jokingly, therapy for writers. It's really an inside look into our psyches as we deal with, move through, and live this TV writing, film writing, the writer's life. And I think it's a really great resource. So thanks for joining me here. Take a look at the other videos on this page, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.